Hey guys, it's Enigma Hood, and this is just going to be talking about video games once again. Just talking about the shit I'm playing, the shit that I've beaten recently, and, stuff that I'm looking forward to in the future. I guess I should start on some of the stuff I've beaten before. I just beat Atelier Iris, and it is one of the most mediocre RPGs I've ever played in my fucking life. You might be wondering, why do I put myself through this? Well, it's because I am a fan of 2D games. I really love 2D sprites, especially if the artwork is really well done. You gotta understand, Enigma Hood is a child of the 90s. I grew up in the fucking 90s when 2D was it. 2D was at its perfection in the fourth generation. That would be the SNES, the Genesis, and a few other consoles as well. That was the pinnacle of 2D gaming. And it took 4 generations to reach that level. Now, if you do the math, that means that after 4 generations of 3D games, we should be at the pinnacle of 3D gaming. Now, you might argue that the 7th generation, that would be the current generation of video games, is pretty damn good, and I agree, it is pretty damn good. But I would say the pinnacle was probably going to be next generation. Of 3D games, at least. Then after that, it's just going to be gravy, I think. It's like, they can still improve a little bit here and there, but they're going to need some kind of real big innovation in order to justify having a 9th generation, having a generation after the 8th. But without getting ahead of myself, yeah, I just like 2D games. That's why I played Odin Sphere to death. It took me over 50 hours to play that game, and I was killing myself to play it because it was so repetitive, but I still liked it because of the 2D graphics. And speaking of that game, the developers of Vanilla Software, or Vanillaware, whatever they're called, are making a new one called Dragon's Crown that's going to come out on the PlayStation Network and the PSP. And I'm really fucking looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to pick that up. It's going to be a downloadable game. Probably going to cost a little bit more than your usual downloadable game, but you kick ass. And I recommend it to anyone who likes 2D games. It's going to be like a beat-em-up combined with an RPG, so that's really cool. I just beat Atelier Iris. What I'm currently playing is, I decided to play this game. Dragon's Quest 8. The night vision probably fucks it up a little bit, but this is the game. For the PlayStation 2, I never played a Dragon's Quest game before, and I just decided on an impulse to play it. I have all of these games. If you ever saw my video games collection video, I should probably do another video like that. I might do it one day, but I have a ton of games that I haven't even played yet because I just haven't gone around to it. I have intention of playing it, but I don't want to just start it and then just stop and then come back to it many years later when I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't like doing that. And when you have as many games as I do, that problem happens. So I'm going to take it one at a time, and finally I just decided to try this, and so far it's pretty good. It's a very traditional RPG, but it's a good one. Definitely better than Atelier Iris. Yeah, there's not a heck of a lot to say. The big draw to this game back in the day was that it had a playable demo of Final Fantasy XII, which I have, and I did not beat that. I got through, several hours of it, then I just stopped for whatever reason. I don't know, it just didn't hold my interest as much as Final Fantasy X did, or Final Fantasy XIII, which I beat recently. I don't know, but one day I'll go back and play that. But before that, I think I want to play Valkyrie Profile 2, Silmeria. Maybe some of you guys have played that. These are just a whole bunch of Japanese-style RPGs. I'm just kind of in a Japanese RPG mood. But I want to play Morrowind. I want to go back and play Morrowind because the new Skyrim game is coming out. And, I just want to kind of get in the mood, even though I'm not going to be playing Skyrim anytime soon, because I don't want to play it on the PlayStation 3. A game like that you really should be playing on the PC, because that's probably best where it is. But, yeah, Speaking of Western-style RPGs, you know, if you haven't played it yet, play Demon Souls. What an incredible game that is, you know. When I first played it, I had no idea what kind of game it was. I just knew it was a critically acclaimed RPG. I didn't know, and I knew it was made by a Japanese company. And then I had the false impression that this was a Japanese-style RPG. And it's not. The bizarre thing about that game is it's made by a Japanese company from Software, but it is made in a Western style. It is a very Western theme, but the gameplay is also Western-style RPG, which is very novel for a Japanese company to try and do that. And it worked out so well, but when I first played it, I played the tutorial and I was bored out of my mind because the tutorial isn't very interesting. And then I stopped when I got to the Nexus. And then many months later, I decided to pick it up and try it again, and I'm so glad I did, because after I got through the tutorial and started playing the first stage, I couldn't put it down, even though it was hard as fuck. And then I beat it a few months ago, or maybe like a few weeks ago or something like that. And I'm really looking forward to Dark Souls, the spiritual successor. And people are always comparing Dark Souls to Skyrim. The games aren't really comparable, but, you know, it's just there's a similar theme. They're both RPGs, so people are inevitably going to compare the two. Of course, I'm looking forward to Dark Souls more, mostly because my PC cannot run Skyrim anyway, and I don't want to play it on PlayStation 3, so by default, I'm looking forward to Dark Souls more. Yeah. Other than that, I'm also playing Outland, and Braid, and Limbo for the PlayStation Network, PlayStation 3 downloadable games. They're so cool. I love platformers. 2D platformers, in my opinion, for the most part, are better. I mean, they're just, in general, better games. Jumping on platforms is more fun in 2D. That's not to say that 3D platformers aren't good. Some of them are quite good, like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, Mario 64, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, Ratchet & Clank Future, and a few other games. They're good, but in terms of if all you're doing is jumping on platforms, 2D is best, in my opinion. I recently picked up on the PlayStation Network Street Fighter 3, the online edition. Haven't played too much of it. I'm gonna give it another shot after I make this video. Just, you know, play it a little bit. I like Street Fighter even though I'm not a huge fan. I don't play it incessantly and I'm not very good. And the problem with playing online is that for some inexplicable reason you cannot find a mediocre player playing online. They're all experts, and that really fucking sucks. Because I get my ass handed to me every fucking time I try play. But, you know, it's still fun. What else? I'm trying out Monster Hunter Tri a little bit. You know, just a little bit. I recently beat Deadly Creatures for the Wii, and it's just so painfully average. Like, at this point, you know, I bought all these games, and you might be wondering, why do I put up with playing games that are so mediocre? It's because, like, I already bought them because I trusted the reviews. Because this game got reviews in the 80 percentile range, which is fine by me, but then I played it, and it's obviously lower than that. And, you know, I might as well just beat it as long as I paid for it. It's only 8 hours or so long, so played it, beat it, it's average, you know. So if you're ever thinking about picking up that game, unless you're a die-hard fan of, like, spiders and scorpions and stuff like that, and you always want to play a game where you play as those, you should probably look elsewhere. Yeah, so Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii. I'm playing a little bit of Eternal Darkness. I played it before and I really hated it, but now I'm playing more and more of it, and I'm kind of getting into it a little bit more, but it's a little archaic still. Like, it's an old game. Originally, I believe it was supposed to be an N64 game, actually. Then they decided to port it over, or like bring it over to the GameCube, and it kind of shows, but I'm still giving it a shot. It's okay. It's pretty good now, you know, once you get into the groove of it. But I'm playing that sparingly. Anything else I'm playing? What else am I playing? I want to play a little bit of Phantasy Star 1, like in between when I'm playing Dragon Quest 8. I think I can try pull off playing 2 JRPGs at the same time, perhaps. But, oh man, the amount of grinding I have to do in that game is insane. That is insane. But yeah, I always wanted to play Phantasy Star. You know, it's like a series that I was always interested in, and I really wish I had those games back when I was a kid, and I had a Genesis. When I was a kid, I had a Genesis, and I had a lot of really mediocre games, because I didn't know any better. I didn't have, like, video game magazines back then to tell me what's good or not. I didn't have the internet to tell me what's good or not, so I just had, like, Lion King, which is a good game, but I had Ren and Stimpy, too, which was not a very good game, and a few others that weren't really all that great. Yeah, so I guess that pretty much covers most of what I'm playing. I'm playing a little Donkey Kong Country Returns here and there, although I already beat pretty much every level and I don't really know how to advance in the game right now, but whatever, I'll figure it out. I'll look at a walkthrough or something. Anyway, so in the comments section, you know, let me know if you've been playing any of these games or if you've played any of these games in the past, and let me know what games you're playing these days, and make sure to add me on the PlayStation Network. If you haven't already, I go by the screen name Lengis. I'm going to put that in my description as well. And that's it. This is Enigma Hood signing off.